So it was during my second cut around 2 years ago. After a few weeks in this cut, I started to feel more hunger throughout the days, and I remember this exact day in which it was around 5 p.m. I had a massive sweet tooth and I wanted to eat something sweet. I didn't fall for these cravings. Instead, I picked Coke Zero, I drank it, and it satiated me. After a few hours, I wanted to go to sleep, so I went to my bed. I fucking lie down. I tried to fall asleep. I closed my eyes, after brushing my teeth and everything, and I fucking did it for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I felt more awake than usual. I felt pretty frustrated, and then for another 5 minutes and 10 minutes again, 20 minutes of lying down, I didn't fall asleep. I felt my heart rate getting faster and faster, and I grew more and more frustrated, which made me even more alert. After 30 minutes, I decided to just get out of this bed, to go fucking take a piss and get back here. I said to myself, don't think about anything, just relax and fall asleep. After 40 minutes, in total, I fell asleep. So during that time, I didn't realize why I had such a hard time falling asleep, and the next day, I slept for around 6 hours, so I felt more tired than usual. I was less alert, I had a harder time thinking, I had more brain fog than usual, I felt a lot worse, and I also had a workout. I went to that workout, so I don't really remember if I had this workout for that exact day, but it happened to me a few times, and in one of these days I had a workout afterwards, and I felt more fatigued than usual. I had DONS, delayed onset muscle soreness, even though the last workout for this muscle was 3 days ago. Right at the time, I was confused, I was tired, I was not ready to work out, but I still went to the workout. I was weaker than usual, I finished it, and then it hit me. It was because of the Coke Zero that I drank. I liked Coke. I like to drink Coke, not that Coke, bro. Coke Zero. I remember that it has caffeine in it. And that's the thing. It is one reason to why you might have a hard time falling asleep consistently. So it is caffeine in general. When we consume caffeine, it gets into our system, into our bloodstream. It starts to bind into adenosine receptors. Adenosine is a chemical that is responsible for our feeling of tiredness. Basically, when it binds into its receptors, we feel tired, more tired, right? And as the time goes on, it gets accumulated. It prevents the adenosine to bind into its receptors, and we don't feel that feeling of tiredness. So I'm not a scientist, this is not a fucking medical advice, right? Just to make sure that we're on the same page. I've learned it from fucking the Andrew Huberman podcasts and AI, I refined my knowledge, but I might butcher it a bit. But here's the thing. Caffeine takes a pretty long time to metabolize. It takes, for the average person, right? That's the average, it can be way worse or way better. It takes 5 hours for half of the amount that you consumed to metabolize, which means that it blocks your adenosine to bind into its receptors for 5 whole hours. At the very least, half of its effect will stay for the average person. And that's the thing. If you consume caffeine before sleep for 5 hours or 6 hours or 7 hours, if you're a hyper responder for caffeine, if it takes a lot of time for your body to metabolize it, then that might be one reason to why you have such a hard time falling asleep, to why you don't feel rested and refreshed each and every day. After a few times of doing it, I started to conceive this pattern of when I drink something that contains caffeine 5-6 hours before sleep, my sleep gets worse, it takes more time for me to fall asleep. And after seeing this pattern, after realizing it, after conceiving it, I decided to break it, to not do this anymore. And guess what, since then, there were not a lot of nights in which I had a really hard time falling asleep, in which it took me fucking 30-40 minutes to fall asleep. And that's one thing that really helped me to feel better throughout the days, because I just fall asleep faster, and with it, I don't know how true it is, at least because I don't feel it, but caffeine also, to some extent, worsen your sleep quality and mine. So basically, if there is caffeine in our system, when we sleep, even if we fall asleep really fast, it will still damage our sleep to some extent. I don't know exactly what the science says about it, but I think that it is pretty true, from what I've heard from the Andrew Huberman podcast, and that's what this video is about. if you have a hard time falling asleep and after fucking sleeping for 9-8 hours you feel tired and fatigued and you are not overtrained, then anything that it is weird, then this might be a reason why. You consume caffeine way too close to your sleep, which damages it, or just consume alcohol, but that's out of the scope of this video, and that's why your sleep gets worse. And that's what I want you to try. Try for one day, right? For one day, to not consume caffeine for 7-8 hours before sleep, and see if your sleep improves or not. If you see no change, then try it for another day, and then see if a change occurs or not, and if it does not occur, then great, don't do it. Fucking ignore everything that I've said. But if you see a change, if your sleep improves, if you feel better for the next day, then do it, and that's a massive benefit. You will feel more rested, more refreshed each and every day. You will make more progress because sleep is such an important thing for building muscle. It is about the recovery part of the equation of building muscle, which is one of the most important parts of it, which is right along with training, the part of it that gets you better, that gets you more results. And that's essentially it. If you enjoyed this video, you can like and subscribe if you want to get a free course, link in the description. Bye.